News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Investigation continues into MRL train yard death. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Tuesday, April 5th, 2016. Right now, it's very warm outside. It's cloudy and 40 degrees in Missoula right now. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville for the best of Western Montana living. Our top story this morning, Missoula police initiated an investigation into a fatality at the Montana Rail Link Yard in downtown Missoula yesterday. Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh has more.
About 6:58 this morning, officers from the Missoula Police Department responded to the rail yard adjacent to the Scott Street overpass, where it was reported that an adult male was deceased as a result of some type of industrial accident involving a train. At this point, we are waiting for federal investigators from the NTSB to respond and take over the investigation.
The National Transportation Safety Board took over the investigation yesterday. Following the news, MRL President Tom Walsh released a statement saying, quote, "Our hearts go out to his family, friends, and co-workers. There are no words that adequately reflect the sorrow that we all feel at this time. Grief counselors are available to assist during this difficult time. Safety is of the utmost importance to our railroad and our employees, and will continue to strive to be injury and accident-free," end quote. More information, including the name of the deceased, will be released after family members have been notified. U.S. Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, inspected the Western Sugar Cooperative plant after a 34-year-old worker was found dead inside last October. Billings Area OSHA Director Art Hazen said the death of 34-year-old Matthew Boyer triggered the inspection, but no citations directly related to the death have yet been issued. Hazen said Boyer died of asphyxiation, but declined to elaborate, citing potential litigation. OSHA inspectors found 6 serious violations that could potentially injure or kill employees. They also found 5 repeat violations that the company was previously cited for in 2014. The Denver-based company has 15 working days to contest the citations and proposed fines. A Missoula man, 26-year-old Michael Baldwin, is being held in the Missoula County Jail on $50,000 bond after allegedly pointing a loaded handgun at another man on Saturday. Deputy Missoula County Attorney Celine Kepke asked Judge Karen Orzek that Baldwin be held on $60,000 bail.
The defendant arrived at the victim's home, initiated a fight, and then pulled out a gun and pointed it at the victim while the victim was returning inside. The defendant does have a fairly lengthy criminal history, including felony criminal mischief, theft, trespass, and assault, and the state believes he's a danger to the community.
Judge Orzek set bail at $50,000. Baldwin's next court appearance is April 18th. Environmentalists are challenging federal approval of a $500 million copper and silver mine beneath the Cabinet Mountain Wilderness in northwestern Montana near the Idaho border. The lawsuit from Earthworks, the Clark Fork Coalition, and Save Our Cabinets was filed last Friday at U.S. District Court here in Missoula. It cites government studies that determined that the Montanore mine would deplete water from surrounding aquifers and cause severe damage to the habitat of federally protected bull trout. The Montana Department of Environmental Quality has granted only conditional approval. State officials say developer Mines Management of Spokane must show the project won't drain overlying creeks. A federal judge says the Obama administration brushed over the threat of climate change to the snow-loving wolverine when it denied protections for the elusive predator, also known as the mountain devil. U.S. District Judge Dana Christensen on Monday ordered wildlife officials to act as quickly as possible to protect the species as it becomes vulnerable to a warming planet. Wolverines need deep mountain snows to den. Scientists warn that such habitat will shrink as the planet heats up. The case carries potential ramifications for other species, including the Pacific walrus and dozens of corals. A vehicle accident resulted in a large diesel spill yesterday morning near the Y. Frenchtown Rural Fire Chief Joe Calvin describes what happened.
There was a semi coming out of the McDonald's there, parking lot, the town pump parking lot. Basically, the trailer, it was a refrigerated box car, just tipped over. Somehow it punctured the fuel tank that fuels the refrigerator unit on that truck. I think approximately 150 gallons was in that tank.
According to Missoula City County Health Department Environmental Health Specialist Travis Ross, about 140 gallons of diesel had to be mopped up after the spill.
It was a fairly easy cleanup. Fortunately, the spill remained on the pavement. We had sand placed and sorbent materials. The fire department had brought some, and the Department of Transportation put down some sorbent materials and had those swept up. So it was a pretty straightforward cleanup. No soil was impacted or water, so that was a good thing.
The truck belongs to U.S. Foods. Ross said the frozen food inside the trailer was kept frozen and was not spoiled during the incident. Missoula County Elections Office, in partnership with the University of Montana Political Science Department, recently conducted a telephone survey. Elections coordinator Rebecca Connors said the survey examined voter behaviors and preferences.
January, we were able to execute the survey and be able to figure out how voters feel in Missoula County about certain things. That survey provided a lot of great feedback and clear messaging from what voters want. And we had a great representation of Republicans and Democrats and age demographic, rural voters, urban voters. We had a good sample of everybody for this survey that gave us well-received feedback.
Connors says the results of the survey will be presented later this week.
So on April 7th at 1 o'clock, the University of Montana is presenting their findings. They are doing that during an election advisory committee meeting, which is held at 1 p.m. this Thursday in the administrative building downtown. And so they're going to go through the demographics of those results and then be able to answer any questions or present any themes in what they find.
Connor says Missoula County spends the highest amount of money in the state for federal elections, but this survey showed that people love their current polling places and would like to keep them all open. 2 cheer squads with Summit Athletics in Missoula are making history. Cindy Archer is a mom of one of the athletes recently invited to participate in a prestigious all-star cheer competition.
The girls from Summit Athletics on their senior level 2 and senior level 3 teams, they are the first teams in Montana to ever be invited to compete in the D2 Summit, which is all-star cheer in Tampa, Florida. Over 11,000 teams compete across the U.S. and only 500 get invited, so it is a privilege for them to go down and compete.
Archer says the invitation is something the athletes have been striving for.
Summit Athletics has been actively competing to get to the D2 Summit for the past 5 years. In the past 3 years, they've won 15 national championships in Salt Lake, or between Salt Lake City, Portland, and also Tacoma.
Summit Athletics is hosting a benefit at the Sunrise Saloon April 9th. The event will include a silent auction and raffle in order to help fund the athletes' trip to Florida. President Barack Obama says a World War II veteran and Native American historian, quote, helped shape a fuller history of America, end quote, by sharing the stories and culture of his tribe. Obama released a statement yesterday following the death of Joseph Medicine Crow, the last surviving war chief of the Crow tribe in Montana and the first in the tribe to attain a master's degree. Medicine Crow died Sunday at a Billings hospice. He was 102 years old. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Isolated showers are possible early today. By the afternoon, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds with our high temperatures in the low 50s. A nice warm-up is expected as we move into the end of the week with our highs near 80 on Friday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.